Hello, Cass. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Hello, Professor. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello, Professor. Yes.
Okay, I have some problems with my computer because of the electricity. I don't know what happened with the lightning. Maybe my charger is damaged. So we are going to be working from my cell phone. So first, I need that you check the information that you have on Moodle. You already have all the information from the course. We have the objective, you have the course program and the PDF document. Just please let me know if you are able to see that information on Moodle. Could you access to Moodle to see that?
Yes, Professor, I do that.
Yes, Professor,
Okay,
everything is there.
okay, good job, excellent. So then for this week, today week also you have the structure in the platform by week. So it's going to be easier to have all those workshops that we are going to do, all the information, you are going to have it by week. So for today week, you have the two documents, you have a Canva link presentation where we have the structure of the lesson. So for the new students, because I can see new names here like Abraham, Rosas, maybe is a new one because the other students were in the planning course last semester. So nice to meet you, Abraham, and welcome to the class. And for the other students also, it's a pleasure for me to be here with you, sharing this course, the ESP course, second part, part B. So my name is Joana Serrano, and I have been teaching here in the Boquete branch since 2008. So this is my 18th year working here at the university. And by the way, this is one of my favorite courses. ESP is very nice, interesting, and you are going to learn many new things about this. So previously on part A, you or the basic of those part A was to know the history of ESP, on the development, the different meanings of the acronyms. So that was the purpose of part A. It's like the theory part. So now we are going to make like a review of that theory part, and then we are going to start to the practice of the ESP courses. So that is the objective of this part B, to create an ESP course. So for that, and this is very related to planning. Last semester, we also took the planning subject part A, and you had the experience to create a lesson plan based on an ESP course. So maybe now you have a basic on those model of lesson plan. So now you have here on Microsoft Teams, remember that we are going to be working with two platforms. With Moodle for the assignments, and you are going to have all the information there. You can check your grades there. And by Teams, by here, we are going to be working the synchronic class. So the face-to-face session, the explanation, if you have any questions. So that's why um, I I like to create by weeks. I remember last semester we create on the planning course. We create by week. Every week you have all the information there on Teams. And I like to work with the PPP model, that is the presentation, practice, and production. We are going to be working with that model this course also. And in that way, it's going to be like a model for you because I know that you're going to have your teaching practice this semesters, and that's why it's going to be helpful for you. Like to be conscious and aware about how is the structure of a lesson plan. You're going to have the models of the lesson here in Moodle. And in that way you can have, or you can, yes, you can have an example of the different lesson plans. Remember, the PPP model, we have the presentation, where you're going to explain the topic. You can begin with a warm up to know, to see the knowledge, the previous knowledge of the student. Then you present the topic, the practice, where you're going to make different formative classwork. And finally, the production, where you're going to test if your students learn the knowledge. So that is the basic structure of any lesson. So the purpose is that you need to be familiar with that structure for any class. That's why I like to work with that, and I want, or I like to provide models to you. So on Moodle, you have the structure of those classes, and also from last semester, you also have the model, so it's going to be easy for you to check different models and to create one. So in the first part, we have in the week number 1, you have here on Teams, it's on Microsoft Teams, not in Moodle. You have the question for uh, this topic, where you can see you need to go to week number 1. Could you see the questions that you have there? It's on channel week 1. I post a question where you have, it says, warm up week number 1, August 17. So you have 2 questions in one, so you need to answer those questions. In that way, I want to check the knowledge that you have from the previous topic. So in 3 words, what differentiate learning English for medicine, engineering from high school English? And number 2, is a native English speaker automatically qualified to teach legal English? Why or why not? So those are like personal questions. You don't have like to consult internet, because I want to check the previous knowledge that you have from this topic. Okay, so remember, go to channel. It says warm up with number 1, August 17. So you have the question there, and you can pause. Please let me know if you can find, or if you cannot find the questions. We are going to have 15 minutes to do this activity.
Professor, just to let you know that I'm not in Teams.
Hello, Joyce. No, why not?
I don't
Me
know
too,
why.
Professor. I can't see anything.
I'm not sharing the screen.
No.
No, I'm not sharing the screen. I'm just, because I have problems with the computer. I told you at the beginning, so I'm trying to
In
fixing that.
Moodle, Professor.
No, no.
Oh, in
Did you
Teams.
on Teams?
I am
Remember
not in
on
the Teams group, Professor.
Yeah, me too.
no.
Me neither.
No, we don't
Uh,
see anything.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay,
Professor.
okay. Now let's do it different. I'm going to post it on WhatsApp, okay?
Okay, Professor.
Okay, it's ready. I post the questions on WhatsApp. So please write the answers on the WhatsApp group with your name down, okay? Down your answer because I don't have registered your phone number. So I need to check your names on the WhatsApp group. So it's 5:26. So you're going to have 15 minutes up to 5:45 to finish that, please. So please be honest. I don't use internet because it's, artificial intelligence or search on the web because I want to check your previous knowledge about the topic. In that way, I can help you to improve your level of knowledge. If not, if you check internet, I cannot help you. Please, so be honest. Joyce, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Okay, good answers. I was checking your answers and now I can see that you have a good base knowledge about the ESP meaning and the difference between teaching English for specific purposes and teaching English for general purposes. So it's not the same to teach a general English course than to teach, for example, a legal or business course. Definitely it's totally different. And I always said that, for example, if you're going to teach legal or business English, you need to learn that content, that technical English, because we are not, even me, we are not prepared with all those kind of terminology because it's a lot of information. So the ESP teacher must uh, learn first to be with the experts of that field in order to master the content and then to teach the content. So if you see, it's a lot of work because you need to learn that knowledge first and then you're going to teach that content with all the strategies that as teachers we have. So that is the difference. So I provide you a document that you have a model that is like the theory that we are going to be discussing the first week. There is a review of the last semester, part A, ESP. Could you see the document on the WhatsApp group?
Yes, we could.
Okay, so let's open the document. Then we are going to check the different information that is like the summary that you must know about the ESP basics. So remember that uh, the historical background of the ESP emerged in the late 1960s and the early 70s as a response of the three historical aspects that happened in the socioeconomic drivers. The first one was the expansion of the science and technology. That was the first aspect that marked the beginning of the ESP. Within this part, with the World War II and the subsequent economic boom created a global demand for a unified medium of international communication in technology, medicine, and commerce. So you see here we have different fields. The second aspect was the revolution of linguistics. Traditional linguistic focus on formal grammar rules. Structural linguistics and register analysis shifted the focus to how language is used in authentic contexts, revealing that language varies across genres and disciplines. They are totally different. And finally, focus on the learner, and I think that is the most important. The educational psychology moved toward learner-centered instruction, recognizing that different learners have distinct motivation, learning styles, and communicative needs. Remember, motivation, learning styles, and communicative needs. Then, that was the beginning, remember, the background of the ESP, the reasons why do we have now ESP. So in the second point, important point for last semester, the absolute and variable characteristic of ESP. According to the classic taxonomy established by Dudley Evans, that is the book also that we are going to be working, the main book, the modern ESP, is defined by clear absolute and variable characteristics. So what are those absolute characteristics that we have for ESP? Number one, need driven. ESP is designed to meet the specific communicative needs of the learner. Remember, that is the main characteristic of the ESP course. The second point, absolute characteristic, is the methodology and content. ESP makes use of underlying methodology and activities of the discipline it serves. And number three, center on language skills. Remember, ESP is centered on language appropriate to these activities in terms of syntax, lexis, discourse, and semantics. Remember that if you're going to teach, for example, secretaries that they need to master the writing style, you're going to focus on that skill. But if you're going to be working with a business people who needs communication, you are going to be working with that skill. So you need to be focused on the skill that your learners need. Then in this chart, we have the ESP for a specific purpose and the difference with the English for general purposes. Understanding the distinction between general English and English for a specific purpose is foundational for effective curriculum design. So it's important to know the difference because in that way you're not going to mix the methodology of general English with the ESP. So what is the primary goal of English for general purposes? General communicative competence and overall fluency across everyday context, that is general. But English for specific purposes, the primary goal is the performance-based competence tailored to a specific professional or academic context. Then the learner profile for the general English is a broad audience with generic learning goals. It's general. But the learning profile for the English for specific purposes, most of the time they are adult, right? Or specialized learners with clear, immediate target needs. It's specific the need they have. It's not general. Content and vocabulary. In the general English, we have high frequency core vocabulary and broad situational grammar because it's very general. But in the specific, you have a specialized vocabulary, genre-specific discourse patterns, and technical jargon. Remember, we have a technical English for that field. The assessment for general English standardized non-reference tests, general proficiency exams. That is for general English. But for the specific, we have criterion reference tests evaluating performance on authentic professional tasks. What is the difference in the assessment between general and specific English? So finally, typology and classification of ESP. Remember, ESP is broadly divided in two major branches based on the primary environment of language application. So number one, we have English for academic purposes. Remember, that is the first division of ESP. So English for academic purpose, or EAP, prepares learner to study or conduct research in academic environment. Examples include English for medical students, EMS, that is the acronym, English for science and technology, EST, English for academic writing and research publication. So those are academic purposes. That is the first division of ESP. The second division of ESP is English for occupational or professional purposes. That is EOP. That is the acronym. In this one, addresses language needs in professional work environments. Examples, English for business, executive management, English for aviation or air traffic control, and English for legal or professionalism and maritime operation. Those are examples for EOP. So those are the main divisions of ESP. Please don't forget English for academic purposes and English for occupational or professional purposes. So we have the summary of this part that is based on the part A of ESP last semester. That is the knowledge that you should know. So the first thing is that ESP is an approach to language teaching, not a product or isolated language variety, remember. This analysis serves as the starting point and guiding anchor for all ESP instruction. So this is an important point. Need analysis. What is need analysis? Can you tell me? Related to ESP? Did you see that terminology last semester? What is need analysis? Any idea? No idea?
Professor is like what the student need to learn.
Yes, it's like a it's not like a diagnostic test that you're going to apply in order to know what your students need. Needs means the vocabulary, the strategies that you want to use with them that are appropriate to the learners. So it involves all the process, not just the vocabulary that they learn. So that is need analysis. It's like some elements together that we are going to do in a diagnostic, like a diagnostic test, but it's not a summative test. It's like a formative one where you are going to see the needs of your students. So that is need analysis, and that's why it's very, very important in the ESP courses. And finally, the final point here is effective ESP practitioners act as researchers, material developers, and evaluators, collaborating closely with subject matter experts. So that was the first point that I mentioned. We are researchers. If you're going to be ESP teachers, for example, if you're going to teach a business course, you are going to be first researchers because you need to research about business because we are not experts on that. We are not experts, for example, in medicine, legal things. Those aspects are very specific. So first, we need to research and learn about that field. Material developers, of course, we cannot find materials. Now we have artificial intelligence and it's a very helpful tool as a teacher we can have as ESP teachers. But believe me that you are not going to have like the precise material because remember that we need to adapt the materials to our students' needs. So that is another important aspect in the ESP course. We need to create the materials according to the students' needs, according to the need analysis that we are going to do with our students. And evaluators, of course, remember that it's a process that we are going to evaluate. So these are the most important things and the most important aspects that you need to know about last semester. This is like the summary. We are going to start the course from this information. Okay, so you remember you have this information on Moodle. Don't worry about that. I'm so sorry because I'm not sharing that. I told you I have problems with my computer, so I'm using just my cell phone. But we are going to be working with this, so don't worry. So now we are going to do oral activity because I want to know you. I want to listen to your ideas. So I'm going to post a question on WhatsApp. Let me put it there and then I'm going to tell you how it's going to be the activity. Okay, this activity, this is a formative workshop, and the objective is to apply the theoretical concepts by analyzing authentic ESP learners' profiles, identifying communicative needs, and classifying target course into English, AP, academic purpose, or occupational purposes. Remember the meaning of that is very important, frameworks. So I'm not going to divide the groups. We are going to do it individually. So I'm going to choose, okay, let's do something. The girls are going to work with case A. The boys are going to work with case B, okay, profile B. So girl A, you are going to work, girls, with air traffic controllers preparing for ICAO. What is the meaning of that? International Civil Aviation Organization. Level 4 English recertification. There is the characteristic of the group, the specific group. So boys, you are going to work with can you hear me?
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, boys, graduate engineering students preparing to publish peer review journal papers in English. Okay, so boys with that case, what you are going to do? So you are going to analyze this first. The first thing that you are going to do is you are going to tell me if it's for English for academic purpose or for occupational purpose. That is the first thing that you're going to do. That specific group of learners is academic or occupational purpose. Number two, core target linguistic communicative needs of that group according to the characteristic that you have there. Number three, methodological differences from standard general English. Why those groups are different for standards in general English? What aspects do you think, do you consider that are going to be different in the methodology of teaching that ESP course than from a general English course? Okay, so then it's 6:04, so I'm going to provide you 15 minutes. So we are going to start at 6:20, and then we are going to share the answer. So I'm going to select um, one girl. You can talk together, girls. You select one girl that's going to share the information because I think that too much people to say the same information. So you can get together and select one girl. I'm not going to select the speaker. You are going to be free to select one girl and one boy. It's going to present the answer, okay, together, just one and one. So you are going to have up to 6 o'clock, okay, up to 6:25, 6:30. In that way, you are going to have enough time to share ideas and select the speaker, okay? Questions? Do you have any questions, Joycey? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Excuse me.
you.
Excuse me, Professor. I couldn't hear you very well because here in my house there's a terrible storm. Could you repeat the guidelines, please? The instructions.
Yes, of course. Here in Dolega, it's also raining cats and dog. I think it's in all the provinces. Okay, don't worry, Abraham left, right? Yes.
No, I'm Ezekiel.
Ah,
Nice to meet you.
Ezequiel, nice to meet you, Ezequiel. You are new one also. Okay, Ezequiel, you are going to be working with the case B, profile B. It says graduate engineering students preparing to publish peer-reviewed journal papers in English. That is from the boys. Okay. So you boys, you can make a WhatsApp group together and you are going to discuss the points. What points? 3 points. Number one, that specific profile that you have, B in this case, boys, what is that? English for academic purposes or English for occupational purpose? Why? That is the first question. The second question, core target linguistic communicative needs that are involved in that profile. And three, methodological difference from standard general English that you have in that profile B. What are the difference between that specific profile regarding to general English? Just one person. Okay, you get together, girls and boys, you get together and you select one speaker to answer those 3 questions based on that profile. Ezequiel, are you clear now?
Yes, thank you so much, Professor. Thank you.
You are welcome, Ezequiel. So those are the things that you need to base the analysis according to your profile B for the boys. I was checking WhatsApp, so Rolando, are you going to be the speaker of the voice? Because I see your post on the WhatsApp group. I think was Rolando or Orlando. Let's see. Arnold. Sorry,
What
not
post,
Rolando.
Professor?
No, sorry, it was Arnold, not you. I think Arnold is going to be the speaker of the boys. Who's going to be the speaker of the girls? The air traffic controller, sorry. Girls? What is the classification? EAP or EOP? English for academic or for occupational purpose, girls? What do you have?
For our case is EOP.
Yes, Aura, good job.
Occupational.
Occupational purpose. Excellent. What can you see about the communicative or the target linguistic needs according to that specific group? What they can need? What can you suppose according to the characteristic they can need? The standardized phraseology vocabulary because it's a very specific one because it has to do with air traffic controllers. They have like codes, so there is very specific vocabulary. What else? I think also listening discrimination is very important skill in this field. The pronunciation aspect and prosody also accurate stress and intonation to avoid critical misunderstanding. For example, distinguish the codes. The pronunciation of the numbers is not the same to say 15 that 50. So that is very important. What else do you think?
Teacher, as you mentioned, speak clearly and use understandable pronunciation. Um, Understand pilots with different international accents. Sorry.
Yes, the
Use aviation vocabulary and standard uh, ICAO phraseology correctly, and give clear instructions about altitude, speed, direction, and landing.
Yes, those aspects are very important according to this ESP course. Thank you, Aura. What about methodological difference between the general English? What we can say that they can differ. The skills focus is not going to be the same from general English that from this one because this is very specific. The methodology that you're going to use with them because maybe they need simulation, the assessment because it's a performance, it's a process. You need maybe a standardized test to do this, or maybe a rubric for a performance, and the error treatment, how you're going to prioritize those errors to improve, to overcome that. For example, if they have problem with the pronunciation of the numbers, you cannot leave it like that if they don't pronounce like the teens. with the 50 it's not the same, so you need to help the students to overcome that. So thank you so much for your participation, girls. So now let's see the boys. Boys, you have profile B, graduate engineering students publishing in peer-reviewed journals. How you are going to teach this specific English? But first, tell me, boys, what is that? EAP, academic or occupational? What is the main purpose here for the ESP course? Academic one or occupational?
EAP.
Hello, Diego.
Hello.
Nice to hear you again. Yes, of course, it's an academic uh, course. Academic is an English for academic purpose. Good job, Diego. And what are those core target linguistic or communicative needs they might have?
Hello, teacher. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. So in this case, they will have like a lot of linguistic needs, like academic vocabulary, technical engineering terminology, for sure, formal grammar, complex sentences structure, because they are going to make like a project. So they need academic collocation, cohesion, coherence, paraphrasing, summarizing, and accurate citation language for that project. And for the
Great.
communicative needs, they will need to write research articles, presenting methodology and results, describing data, and all of that.
Yes, excellent. Good job. What about the difference between the general English and this specific course?
So I think I could answer that mostly. So I would say that unlike general English, with focus on like broad everyday communication, this course will be needs based or and discipline specific. For example, students should work with authentic engineering journal articles, research, abstract reports, and other academic texts.
Great. Good job. Excellent. You are right. So now, um, I told you that we are going to be working differently this course because this is like a very practical course. We are going to be working with 2 hours synchronic and 2 asynchronic uh, workshops. So I'm going to send you the information. Let me Okay, let me put the picture because you're going to have 2 assignments. You already have on Moodle the assignments that I'm going to explain here. You have 2 assignments there on Moodle. You have first the Canva Digital Comparative Matrix, right, on Moodle. And also you have a forum that is Analytical Reflection Forum. You have that. So it's supposed to be up to today, 8:25. That is the time. But I'm going to provide you more time because I understand, and that happened to me today with my computer charger. So I understand some situations that can happen virtually, and even today that the storm was very, very, very heavy. So we can have problems with electricity, with the equipment, with the cell phone, a lot of problems. So you have the time. So if you can do it up to 8:25. If you don't have any problem with electricity, with your family, because those things happen also. Maybe you have a kid that is sick, your mother, your father, we don't know. If you can do it, you have up to 8:25 to deliver that. If not, you're going to have time up to tomorrow, Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Okay, to do the task A and B. That is the Canva presentation matrix. It's not a presentation, it's a matrix. And the forum. Okay, please be clear on that, because I don't want that you be stressful that you need to deliver that today. So you can do it today. That today is the best option, because in that way you are not going to have more assignments and you are going to be on time with your subjects. You are not going to be in a hurry. So that is the purpose, because that is the assigned time to work for ESP. But if you have an emergency, so you have time up to tomorrow 11:59. Questions in that part? Okay. What is the digital comparative matrix that you have in CAMP? So you are going to create, that is individual, okay? It's individual, don't worry about that. It's a matrix. You select the model that you prefer on Canva. So you are going to contrast English for general purposes, English for academic purposes, and English for occupational purposes. You are going to work with those. What aspects you are going to work with that? Number one, you are going to work with 5 parameters. What is the target audience for English for general purposes? What is the target audience for English for academic purposes? What is the target audience for English for occupational purposes? So you're going to work with the same elements, the parameters, with the 3 uh, English, okay? The target audience, the primary objective, the lexical discourse focus, the role of need analysis, and evaluation and assessment methods, okay? You can deliver the link, because I make on Moodle the link where you can add the Canva link. If not, you can download a PDF document and you can upload it on Moodle. So you have that on the week for week 17, August 17, week 1, you have that. You have the same name, Canva Comparative Matrix. So you have it there. That is the first activity that you're going to do. Where you can find the information? You have a document where it says textbooks. So in that folder, sorry, you have the different textbooks that we are going to use. So you can check that, and also you can check if you have an academic artificial intelligence where you can do it. You can search that, but please, that must be academic. And you can check also the textbooks that you have there in Moodle. So remember, you need to work on those 5 parameters based on English for general purpose, English for academic purposes, and English for occupational purpose. Okay, the objective is that you be able to compare the different parameters with the different English. The photo is a post about 300 word analytical reflection about what are the key myths versus realities regarding the role of the ESP teacher, and how those transitioning from general English require a pedagogical mindset shift. Where you can find the answer of this question? In the textbook that you have on Moodle, in the section of textbook in the folder, and it's the book from Dudley Evans, St. John's, 1998, or also in the textbook from Partridge and Starfield, 2013. those books, you have it on Moodle. So that question is based on those textbooks where you can read the information and then you can answer the photo. So those are the two activities that you have to complete up to 8:25, the two other 2 hours of the course. If you cannot complete it, you have up to tomorrow 11:59 to complete these two activities. Questions that you have? Remember, you can check everything on Moodle.
Thank you, teacher.
I'm going to be evaluating by week the formative activities that we have because I'm not going to be like, evaluating the forum, the Canva presentation, the warm-up activity question. No, that is like to collect all the formative assignments like last semester we did, and then I'm going to assign the final evaluation about the formative assignments. When we have the final project about the topic that we cover, then I'm going to tell you, well, we are going to have a summative assignment about this topic. We are going to do this. But now that is formative, okay? And in Moodle, you have the rubric for those formative weekly workshop that we are going to do in class. Remember, the process is the warm up, the presentation, the practice, and the production. That is the process of the class. Then I'm going to be evaluating your participation in the different stages. Please let me know if you have any question. Remember, all the information is on Moodle. The rubric for all the activities are there. You have the textbook, the general information of the course program also is there in the PDF document. You can see the topics by week. All the things that we are going to cover are there on Moodle. I'm so sorry because I cannot share the screen and the presentation that I create today because I have problems with my computer, the charger. I don't know what happened with the electricity. So I'm so sorry for that, but the purpose was accomplished today with the activities that we have. So it proves like, please, future teachers, you need to have your plan A, B, C, D, all the alphabet complete when you have classes because you don't know what's going to happen. We're going to face different situations in a class, environmental things, technological things, administrative things. We are going to have different things, but we need to be prepared. It's not just like, I'm not going to be teaching this because I don't have electricity or I don't have my computer charger. No, we need to try to overcome the problems that we have. Joycey, do you have any question about the assignments that you have?
No, Professor, I don't have any questions yet. I was checking the WhatsApp group and I was reading your instructions that we are going to have for today until tomorrow. So we have to complete it.
Okay, Ezequiel.
Uh, yes, Professor. I have a question. Are you going to create any kind of Teams group or something?
Yes. I'm so sorry because the problem was that I didn't attach your email, the UNACHI emails to the Teams group. I already created a group, but I'm going to create it later when I have my computer charger. I'm going to create that, and then you can see the different channels, the weekly channels, and then you can participate in the warm up. By the way, when it's ready, I'm going to text you in the WhatsApp group, and then you can post your contribution of the warm up of today. You can paste it there from the WhatsApp. You can paste it there. But I need to add you to the Teams. That was my fault because I thought that it was like the Unachi system that you are on Moodle, but no, I forget that it's not the same. I need to do it manually. That's the problem. It doesn't work like Moodle. Sistema Universitario with Moodle is immediately, but it doesn't happen with Teams. I need to do it manually, one by one, and you are like 25. So I need to do this. So as soon as it's done, I text you. Dennis, hello, nice to meet you, Dennis. Do you have any questions?
Hi, Professor. Nice to meet you too. Yeah, I was wondering if you can add me, like someone can add me to the WhatsApp group because I was trying to join from the link, but it won't work. So I think it's my phone. So if someone can please add me to it, I will be grateful. Thank you.
Okay, Dennis. If not, you can text me because my cell phone is on Moodle. Just text me and I can add you.
Thank you, Professor. I think I just got added, but someone. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, I did it. Don't worry, Denise.
Thank you,
Thank
Joyce.
you.
Okay, please check the information, check everything. I'm going to be here on Teams up to 6 o'clock. Sorry, 7 o'clock. And if you have any question, please let me know. If you have any problem with the platform, with Moodle, if you have any problem with Sistema Universitario, just let me know, please. If you cannot access to the textbooks, to the information on Moodle, please let me know because I need to be sure that you can access to all the information on the platform.
Professor, Professor,
Yeah, Kerube, yes.
in formative weekly activities, why do we need to upload this assignment?
No, in formative activities that you have the rubric about punctuality, responsibility. No, that is my evaluation about all the things that we did today.
Oh, okay. So technically, we need to upload
Just
a document. Or...
technically there, you don't have to upload anything. Just the Canva presentation and the forum is the only things that you need to do. Because
Okay.
the one, yes, the one that says formative assessment, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be checking if you participate in the warm up, the WhatsApp question, and if you participate here in the oral part about the profiles A and B, if you were here, of course, participating in the class, there is the evaluation. So I have to do it manually. You don't have to upload anything in that part. Thanks for the question, Kerube, because maybe some of your class might have the same doubt.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Okay, so if you don't have questions, I'm going to try to add you to the Microsoft Teams class. In that way, you can post your answer in the channel for today's week. So I will be texting you on the WhatsApp group as soon as that is ready. And any question, please. You know that we have the WhatsApp group and you have all the information on the Moodle platform. So see you next Monday and welcome back. Have an excellent semester.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Bye,
Professor. It
Professor.
was a pleasure.
It was a
Thank
Bye,
you.
Thank you,
pleasure.
Professor.
Professor.
you.
Professor,
Bye,
Bye. Have a good
Professor. Have a
evening.
good night.
Professor.
Yes.
Only a quick question. Is it necessary to follow in the digital comparative matrix in Canva? Is it necessary like have a specific format, or are we free
No,
to?
no, you're free to do it. You don't have
Okay,
a.
it
Yes, I don't like that, like to, tell you that it's mandatory or obligatory to use that
okay.
model. No, I like that my students develop your creativity.
Which and one last question. Which is the most the average of slides that this workshop must have? Like 5, 6, 10, 20, I don't know.
The matrix?
Yeah.
No, it's like, for example, one paragraph for each parameter. Five
Okay.
sentences at least for each parameter because you have the parameters there according to that. Could be
Yeah.
like five sentences for general English, five for the occupational, and five for the academic for each parameter. No more than five
Okay,
sentences. Not
Professor.
too much,
Thank you.
not too much information. Precise
Okay.
and concise.
Thank you.
Okay, Abraham.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. Nighty night.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
it has to be, Professor. It has to be uploaded at 8:25. You said today.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow, 11:59.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent. Thank you,
Yeah.
Professor.
Okay. You are welcome.